What's going on, Rovers? Sam here, back at it again for another video. In today's video, I wanted to talk about the upcoming character Rosia and whether or not I think she's worth summoning for in Wuthering Waves. And I'm sure I butchered her name, forgive me. Y'all know me, that's par for the course. Now, before we talk about her kit, let's talk about her design. I think she is an incredibly adorable character. She's kind of got this masquerade court jester vibe. I really like her color palette. We know Kuro continues to cook. But as far as her kit is concerned, she is essentially akin to Yin Lin or Chen Li or Zheja, as she is a damage amplification character, but she is specific to the Havoc element. What do I mean by that? So essentially, she is boosting damage amplification for Havoc with her outro skill, also her Resonance Liberation. I would say her Liberation is a little bit more universal. So let's talk about it. Now, obviously, outro, very generic, very easy to understand. The incoming resonator has their havoc damage amplified by 20% and their basic attack damage amplified by 25% for 14 seconds. Again, this screams Camellia. Camellia is havoc, obviously, and all Camellia's damage is predicated upon basic attack correlation, or it's considered basic attack damage. So, as we can see, Rosia will be kind of a rhyme there. Camellia's #1 support upon her release. Now, I am not a mathematician. I am not sure how much better Rosia's outro skill is than Sanhua's. Sanhua, if you didn't know, gives a 38% basic damage amplification. Now, you can see this is 45%, but I actually think this havoc damage amplification is calculated multiplicatively. So I don't think it's actually just a 7% increase. I think it's more than that, but I will leave that up to smarter people like I win to lose. Now, on top of the outro skill, you also have Resonance Liberation, which is actually kind of pog and it's more universal. So essentially, for every 0.1% of Rosia's crit rate over 50%, the Resonance Liberation increases the attack of all resonators in the team by 1 point for 30 seconds up to 200 points. Now, again, forgive me, I'm not a math guru, but I'm pretty sure this means if you have 70% crit rate, you're going to be able to maximize this boost. Again, I'm not a wizard in math, but I'm pretty sure I calculated it correctly, and it should be 70% crit rate gives you the maximum boost. Now, this is obviously why her weapon is crit rate. Just a little side tangent. Please do not get this weapon. This weapon is not good. I genuinely think this is the worst signature weapon in the game. I'm pretty sure you'd be able to get 70% crit rate without a crit rate weapon. If you're a big pog and you have Verity's Handle, this is significantly better. It gives the same amount of crit rate. And if you already have it, save the Astrite. But I would not recommend getting Tragic Comedy at all. It looks cool. Pog obviously matches her, but I think it's terrible. So yeah, you really want to make sure that you're getting that 70% crit threshold. I don't think it'll be challenging. Obviously, I imagine that they're using a Phantom Heron with crit rate here, and then you're just going to want as much crit rate as possible. Obviously, crit damage won't hurt, but again, I don't think you're really too concerned about her personal damage. You really just want to make sure you're able to get that crit rate threshold. I think 40% energy might be sufficient. Again, needs more testing. If you're pairing her with Shorekeeper and Camellia, 40% might be fair in this trial that you can use her in the story. I found that the burst comes up a little slow, so maybe you want to shoot for maybe 50 to 60%, but again, that will take more testing. So we've talked about her kit. You want to prioritize her liberation and her outro skill. What does it look like in practice? Let's ride. Okay, so as far as a rotation is concerned, and forgive me, looks like I killed all the enemies in this little area, but essentially what you're going to do is you're going to build up her Concerto with basic attacks. You can also do a charge attack, and it builds 2 of her 3 Concerto gauges. Then you can just hold it again, and it's maxed. Now, what you're going to do is you're going to cast her skill. It's going to do this big tornado. Then you're going to get 3 plunge attacks. Boom, boom. Now, what's nice about her little tornado is it actually has a decent amount of grouping. So again, that's pretty nice for Camellia because you want the enemies to be grouped up. So all of them are getting hit by the swirling vine lady. Now, Obviously, if you just use her skill, it also charges 1 full bar. So maybe if you're at 2 bars, you can pop her skill. You're at 3 bars, you do the 3 plunging attack. Now, the way I see her rotation working the best, and again, this needs more testing, but I think what you want to do is you would want to build up her Concerto. I completely screwed that up. I'll just do 2 charge attacks. You build up her Concerto. And then I think you actually would want to swap to Shorekeeper, get Shorekeeper's field up, switch back into Rosia, do her skill, do the plunge attacks. So you're grouping all those enemies. As long as you have your Resonance Liberation, pop that, pop the Heron into Camellia. And I think that would give you the most uptime with the outro skill and the attack boost from Rosia's Resonance Liberation. That's how I see it being played out right now as this moment in time. Again, it's going to require more testing. Apologies. Again, I wish I had some enemies to fight, but I think that's how I see it being played out. So that's pretty much it, gamers. I just wanted to give my 2 cents on this character. Again, I think she is very adorable. I think if you want your Camellia to hit as hard as possible without investing in sequence nodes, I think Rosia is going to be the key. But again, you do have to be a little bit careful when you're going for these quote unquote niche damage amplification characters for specific elements. Because for Rosia, obviously she does Havoc, which will be good for all Havoc characters, but she is boosting basic attack damage, which might not be applicable to all, Havoc-based characters in the future. You could apply her to other basic attack characters. Again, just be careful with your Astrite. I know there's a lot of new players that came in with 2.0. If it was me, I would definitely save for Shorekeeper. I think Shorekeeper is the best character in the game. She gives crit rate, she gives crit damage, she heals, very easy to build, very easy to play. You just have to learn how to maximize her, understand the visual cues of her burst. So I would prioritize her if you're a new character and, an Astrite is an Astrite is an Astrite. It is a finite resource. So be careful with them. But if you want your Camellia to hit very hard, if you really like her design, of course, go for the character you want. I think, upon her release, she'll probably be, high A tier, if not low S tier on Pridewind. So again, if you want your Camellia to slap, go for her. Me personally, think I'm gonna skip. I really need a fusion DPS to pair with Chen Li. I'm praying that Scar is coming soon. Not sure about Brant. I think Brant looks cool, but we'll see. Well, that's pretty much it, gamers. As always, appreciate you so much, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.